Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share your comments about the exciting end of the story. Aquatic Invaders. Let the story begin. Dr. Marissa Blake stood at the massive observation window of her underwater lab, her gaze fixed on the dark, enigmatic expanse of the Mariana Trench. The blue light of the deep sea bathed the lab in an eerie glow, making the equipment around her hum with a sense of life. Marissa's colleague, Eli Roth, shuffled beside her, adjusting his glasses nervously. "You ever get used to this view?" he asked, voice tinged with awe. Marissa smiled, shaking her head. "Every day it feels like the first time," she replied. Suddenly, her communication device buzzed. "Dr. Blake, there's an anomaly on the sonar," called out one of her assistants. Curiosity piqued, Marissa hurried over to the monitor. The screen showed a pulsating, mysterious signal, growing stronger by the second. "What the... Eli, are you seeing this?" she asked, her voice strained with confusion. "It's nothing like we've encountered before," he muttered, playing with the controls. Before they could decipher the signal, the lab's lights flickered. Eli grabbed Marissa's arm. "Look!" Through the observation window, shapes moved, humanoid, but distinctly alien. One stepped forward, an aura of calm emanating from it. Marissa's thoughts blurred, then clarified with an unfamiliar voice. "We seek refuge," it said telepathically. "I believe we need to talk." Marissa exhaled slowly, realizing their world had just gotten a lot more complicated. Marissa couldn't shake the image of the alien in her mind. She found herself sitting in the lab's small common area, staring at the steam rising from her cup of tea. Eli entered the room, a data tablet in his hands. "We've analyzed the signal. It's definitely not from Earth," he said, breaking the silence. "We need to understand them," Marissa replied, her voice steady. "There could be more out there." The door slid open with a hiss, and Vorlon, the alien ambassador, entered gracefully. His presence was calming, yet commanding. Marissa locked eyes with him, feeling the strange telepathic connection starting to hum. "In our world," Vorlon began, without moving his lips, "we call this kind of meeting first waters. Your world's oceans are our only hope." Marissa tilted her head, curiosity piqued. "Why are you here?" she asked aloud, deciding to speak instead of relying on the mental link. Vorlon's gaze softened. "Our planet is dying. We need refuge, a new home. But we come bearing an ultimatum. To survive, your oceans must change," he conveyed somberly. Eli took a step back, shock apparent on his face. "Wait, change how? You can't just alter Earth's ecosystem," he protested. Vorlon's eyes darkened slightly. "If we don't, we perish," he stated flatly. A heavy silence fell over the room. Marissa took a deep breath, realizing the weight of the decision before them. "Then we need to find a way for both our species to survive," she said quietly. Eli nodded, tension in his movements. "Agreed, but how?" Marissa sat at her cluttered desk, eyes bloodshot from sleepless nights. The lab buzzed with activity, researchers murmuring their concerns. Eli walked in, his face a mix of excitement and worry. "We managed to decode more of their technology," he said, holding up a small, glowing device. "It's incredible, but dangerous." Eli handed the device to Marissa. "This can manipulate the ocean's chemical composition," he explained. "Zalthor plans to use it on a massive scale." Marissa frowned, studying the intricate patterns etched into the device. "So this is their ace in the hole," she muttered. "We need to understand it fully." Vorlon approached, his presence commanding yet weary. "We must stop Zalthor," he insisted telepathically, his mental voice laced with urgency. "He's determined to save our people, no matter the cost to yours." Marissa nodded, feeling the weight of the impending conflict. "We need allies," Marissa said, her voice resolute, "both human and Spalarian." Vorlon's eyes met hers, a silent agreement passing between them. Eli, visibly uneasy, glanced at the lab's main computer. "I've contacted marine biologists worldwide. They're ready to help, but they're scared," he said. Marissa stood up, determination in her eyes. "Fear can't hold us back," she declared. "We have to find a way to coexist. Vorlon, can you rally those within your ranks who oppose Zalthor?" He nodded, a flicker of hope in his gaze. "Together we stand a chance." Eli sighed, running a hand through his hair. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Marissa placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We'll make it, she promised. We have to. The lab was a hive of frantic energy as Marissa, Eli, and the rest of the team scrambled to prepare. Marissa focused intently on studying the alien device, her fingers tracing its glowing symbols. Eli adjusted the underwater drones, his face a mask of concentration. The coalition is ready, he said, glancing at Marissa. We've got support from every corner. Vorlon stood by, his expression unreadable. Zalthor will not wait. We need to strike now, he conveyed telepathically. Marissa took a deep breath, feeling the device pulse in her hands. I think I've figured out how to use it against them, she said, but it's risky. Down in the abyss, illuminated only by their flashlights, the team moved cautiously. Marissa led the way, the alien device glowing brighter the deeper they went. Shapes moved in the darkness, and suddenly, Zalthor appeared, flanked by his warriors. Step aside, Marissa, his mental command echoed ominously. Not a chance, she responded, gripping the device tightly. Without warning, Zalthor lunged at her, eyes blazing with determination. Marissa activated the device, sending out a shockwave that momentarily knocked everyone back. Taking advantage of the moment, Eli directed the drones to create a perimeter. Vorlon and his loyalists fought fiercely against Zalthor's warriors, the water boiling with their intense struggle. Marissa felt the device's energy coursing through her, amplifying her telepathic abilities. She focused on Zalthor, mentally pushing against his will. She felt his rage and desperation, but she pressed on, a silent battle of minds. Eli's voice broke through the chaos. Marissa, now! With a final surge of effort, she redirected the device's energy, creating a protective barrier around her allies, and sending a crippling burst towards Zalthor's forces. The water calmed, and as the murk cleared, Zalthor lay defeated, his warriors retreating. Marissa lowered the device, exhausted but resolute. It's over, she declared, her voice echoing in the now silent depths. Vorlon approached, eyes filled with gratitude. You have saved both our worlds, he communicated softly. Marissa hoped he was right. Back in the lab, the atmosphere was a blend of relief and lingering tension. Marissa, Eli, and Vorlon gathered around the central console where reports from around the world flowed in. We did it, Eli said, his tone mixed with exhaustion and awe. We stopped Zalthor. Marissa smiled faintly but looked thoughtful. We have, but the work is far from over. She turned to Vorlon. Your people need a place here, and we need to ensure Earth's oceans remain balanced. Vorlon nodded, his eyes reflecting both hope and determination. We will do everything possible to coexist and heal the damage done, he conveyed sincerely. In the following days, Marissa and her team worked tirelessly, coordinating with global marine biologists and Spalarian envoys. Communication devices buzzed constantly, translating scientific jargon into collaborative plans. The once hostile atmosphere gradually gave way to one of cautious optimism. One evening, Marissa found herself alone, gazing out the observation window. Eli approached quietly, carrying 2 cups of steaming tea. For you, he said, handing her one. They stood in companionable silence for a moment, marveling at the tranquil beauty of the underwater world. Do you think we can really do it? Eli asked softly. Marissa took a sip of her tea, feeling the warmth spread through her. We have to try, for all our sakes. Just then, a message from a representative of Earth's governments popped up on their communication screen. Dr. Blake, we're encountering challenges from environmental groups. They're concerned about the long-term impact of the Spalarians' presence. Marissa sighed, acknowledging the new hurdle. It's a valid concern. We need to address it openly and honestly. Vorlon stepped up, his demeanor resolute. Our partnership must be transparent. Our survival depends on trust. Marissa nodded. We'll hold a global summit. Bring everyone together. It's the only way forward. Eli grinned, clinking his teacup against hers. Here's to new beginnings and uncharted waters, he said. Marissa smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead.